Landlords in Lee County say they have no choice but to evict tenants who can't pay rent. Just last month, the county saw the highest number of eviction filings of the year. Thanks for staying with us. For Fox 4 News at 6:30, I'm Jan Monreal.
I'm Patrick Nolan. Our colleague Rob Manch spoke with one landlord who says her tenants may have been taking advantage of the eviction ban just to avoid paying their rent. He's got the story from Cape Coral tonight. Rob?
Well, ever since the governor's eviction ban expired at the beginning of October, filings have been going up. There were 311 evictions filed in Lee County alone last month, which was about 100 more than the month before that. I spoke with the landlord who owns this house in Cape Coral, who tells me she didn't have much of a choice. I met that landlord cleaning up outside her house.
This is so nasty.
She says this mess was left behind by her former tenants.
They stopped paying rent earlier this summer. Never heard from them. Not a text, not a call.
I followed the woman inside the house and we saw hanging blinds and drawings on the wall. She says the end of the governor's eviction ban was her cue to take action.
As soon as the moratorium stopped, we waited a few weeks and then we took legal action. You know, I'm owed $8,000 in rent for this house that I'll never see.
In Lee County, situations like this one are on the rise. This chart shows how many evictions have been filed since March, but that number may actually be low because there's still a federal eviction ban in place. Eviction attorney Holly Cosby says this form from the CDC allows people to avoid paying rent until next year, but only if they lost their job due to COVID.
It only applies in certain situations. And that's the non-payment of rent issue. And even then, it's still arguable. The tenant is going to have to prove that they were affected by COVID.
They gave me no indication at all that they were struggling financially because of COVID.
So this landlord feels like she's justified.
Well, there's just an extra dishwasher on my porch.
But she still has a lot of work ahead of her.
We have to bring in now lawn care companies, vendors to fix the inside. There's damage in there.
And Cosby tells me she actually stopped doing evictions herself because of the rising number of COVID cases. But she says there could be a flood of evictions at the beginning of next year if the federal ban isn't extended. In Cape Coral, Rob Manch, Fox 4.